This is the Stockwell Eldridge Show, giving you the real-time information you need to make educated decisions about buying and selling in the world-renowned Twin Cities. Now your hosts and real estate experts, Jason Stockwell and Don Eldridge.
Good morning, Minneapolis, St. Paul. You're listening to the Stockwell Eldridge Show every Sunday, 10 a.m. here on AM 1280 The Patriot. It's great to be back. I was out last week. I'm Jason Stockwell with Remax Results.
I'm Don Eldridge with Remax Results. It's glad to have. I'm
glad
to have
you.
You back,
I forgot you were gone last week. We had so much fun without him.
Oh, great!
I'm just kidding. It's really funny that you say that though, Jason, because it was like we did have a good show. And we had Ed, who's very talkative, Ed Nelson from the Minnesota Homeownership Center. But it was like I felt like there was something about the dynamics was off, and I was like, oh, it's Jason's.
Yes, Jason was gone.
Curious comments and interjections, inappropriate.
Oh, yes. Yeah. And when you're going to, it's
rants, one of those inappropriate rants that you go on. Just kidding.
Do you remember Melissa DeLay when she was here for it's like that. So if you're late, I don't know if anybody listening out there, if you guys go to church or you go to events or things like that, and there's a point when you're late where it's past the boundary of late and you're better off just not going. Like, that's kind of how it was. Like, I got here and I was so late that I'm like, I'm better off just going to get something to eat and doing emails.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, instead of walking in, like you walk into church and everybody's like, oh, it's 30 minutes late. What are you doing?
Right. It's like a guy at the gym. This guy at the gym. He comes in at 10 minutes after 7 every day. I'm like, really? You know that class starts at 7. You cannot get every day. He walks in late and he sets up his stuff right in the middle of gym class. And there's only one spot up in front, so he's made a mockery of every day.
Yes.
And he doesn't care.
Yeah, well, that's good for him.
I
guess I cared a little bit too much. So I didn't want to be too late. But.
I don't know.
No, he's a single guy. We know. He's just lazy.
Maybe he's,
he's at the gym. I shouldn't say he's lazy because he's at the gym, right?
Right.
So, anyways, I have nothing to talk because I am not the most prompt person. So I admit that it's something that I struggle with.
So that was the reason. So I apologize for not being here, but I know you guys had a great show, and Ed is always great.
Yeah. Well, and it's good to have you back, Jason. You are a nice anchor to the show.
Yes,
Anchor. That's a promotion.
Yeah.
So we have a great show for you today, folks. We're going to talk a lot. We actually were talking before the show about what we should talk about today, and we were going to maybe have like a complaining show, but I don't think anybody wants to hear much about that.
No.
Because we have a lot to complain about, even though we're all super lucky beyond belief, I'm sure, when you compare it to a lot of other
Tony
things,
Robbins, you got to dig down and find what you're thankful for.
That's a good point. If you're out there, if you're thinking about, okay, I'm complaining, this went bad, traffic's really bad, I'm sitting in my car for hours.
If you don't think you have anything to be grateful for, just take 2 fingers, check your pulse.
Yes.
Yep, exactly.
Okay, there you go. You have something to be thankful for. No complaining. I'm putting the zone... No complaining going on right now.
That was before Stephanie got here.
Let's talk about things that are positive today.
Right.
That would be a good thing.
We should do that.
July.
I'm all sorts of positive.
Yes.
It's July. It's my birthday month.
Happy birthday.
Does it get any better than that?
Oh, and it's the 4th of July coming up on Tuesday, so that's good.
Holiday weekend.
Happy early 4th, everybody.
Yeah, everybody's probably out celebrating right now. So we have 2 guys that were on before who are great. They were actually at our live show downtown at the convention center before as well. James and Sam, the Kinetic Build Design.
Sam, I love your last name, by
Design
the way.
Build. I'm sorry, Kinetic Design
borrowed.
Build.
The fabulous Mr. Divine.
Yeah, it's borrowed. You know that. I took my wife's name.
I did not know that.
Yep.
That's super cool.
She's the death of her lineage, so I took her name.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's very cool. That's very masculine of you, Sam.
That's what I thought. Yeah, it's
Yeah, because hey, I've had my name for 50 years. I ain't giving it up now.
Right.
So
There you go.
Well, in our firstborn, we had a boy, and his first name is my former last name, so his first name is Thiessen.
Oh, cool.
Which was her suggestion. It took me a while to wrap my head around it, but yeah, it's awesome.
I like that though. That's that's really a neat little story. Kind of an interesting random fact about Sam.
So my first son Jack has my last name as his middle name, so he's Jack Eldridge Green.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
I
cool.
think that was pretty cool.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So Sam Divine
Yep.
is here with Kinetic Design Build, and then James Holmberg is here working with Kinetic Construction and Sam. They're partners in their remodeling and construction. So these guys, I know, because I know the construction world, they have a lot to complain about, actually. But
No complaints today. No complaints.
But on our positive note, we have a lot. We have a lot of projects. We're doing really well. This is a great,
That's awesome.
Great clients, great projects.
Fantastic.
That's good.
Couldn't be happier.
Yep.
in the middle of the heart of the summer, it's busy.
Or?
Yeah, they are.
Sorry, I missed that. What was it?
I just said you guys are working all over the Twin City area. Are you concentrated in one particular area, or
The bulk of our work is along the river, St. Paul, Minneapolis, and then South Minneapolis, kind of over to
Like Edina.
Edina and Minnetonka. That as far out as Minnetonka.
Right.
But that's the bulk of our work. But we go over to Woodbury and Clearwater or Stillwater.
Stillwater.
Yeah, we've
Clearwater.
We just said Stillwater, actually.
My dad lives up in Clearwater.
Yeah.
what kind of projects are you guys working on right now that you could share with our listeners?
Well,
Yeah, go ahead.
I suppose one of the larger projects are over Lake of the Isles,
Okay.
where
Nice.
we're doing a great room remodel. We're doing an exterior renovation. We're doing a basement design remodel.
Yeah, we were
We're
called.
doing a kitchen. We're doing a porch, all in the
Oh,
same
my
house.
gosh. Yeah.
This is all in the
Wow.
same
Yeah,
house.
we were called
So-
to look at maybe $10,000 or $15,000 worth of exterior repairs that turned into
Balloon.
a
Yeah.
whole bunch of work.
That's
Yeah.
great.
Which is
Good
common.
for you.
I was going
it
to say,
is.
now,
Well,
does
good
that
for them too. They're a super nice couple, and their house is going to be fantastic.
Well, and they're lucky to
Yeah.
have contacted you guys. Were you guys referred to them, or did they cold call you? How did
Yeah,
that?
another person in the industry referred them
Nice.
to us. Or
Wow.
referred us to
So
them.
was it was it your skills, like your design, like your vision? Like, did you go into the house and say, oh my gosh, like, because I know you kind of have that eye, James, like you said,
Right.
for unique
I mean,
pieces and
yeah,
properties.
yeah. I mean, we kind of walked in there and they needed some help, so we kind of looked at it, and then we just kind of started.
You went like,
Working.
OMG,
Yep.
you need me.
Right. Right.
Yeah, I
what?
think it sort of goes with our philosophy of if you look at our website, it's the idea that we will help guide you through stuff. You know, I think that actually does come true.
Because you
for most
saw the
people.
potential. I guess that's kind of what I'm getting
Well, you
at.
see
is
the potential and you see the need, and sort of, you just go it step by step.
Mm-hmm.
It was a slow crawl, and now we're, redoing the entire house pretty much. So.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, I think that's
mostly
what-
we're looking to help people
Right.
actually protect their assets too and their
Yeah.
money. I mean,
Yeah.
if you're going to make this improvement, but you neglect the exterior of your house or whatever, there is an order, a progression.
Well, I think it's probably a great testament to you guys and your business and how you operate. Like you said, you're there to do the work that was asked or suggested, but then you
Yep.
see, like you said, look, you have opportunity and I have this idea and this vision.
Yep.
If you do this, and like you said, you're not going to just leave them hanging like, okay, just do this because we're too busy. You seem to have that eye or that vision where you could say, yeah, gosh, if you did this,
Right.
then we could do this for.
Yep.
So I
And we
have
just try to help.
I have a request. All these people
Yeah.
that you're working on their houses, you should be encouraging them to list, because listings are still down and inventory is still super lean. In fact, listings are down 5.5% since this time last year. It's pretty
So that's something we run
lean.
into a lot, actually. We have people who call us out to maybe look at doing sort of limp into a construction project. They don't know if they want to stay in their house or if they're going to move.
Yep.
They say, well, what if we spent $75,000 and we just updated it enough? What would we get out of that? And I can tell them, you won't get much more for your house than what it's worth right now, because you don't get a lot more credit for a kitchen that's a little bit updated versus the kitchen that was a little outdated. So we do tell them, you've got an opportunity here to either list your home or put in some real investment into it and stay in it. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
And
with
if,
you.
and if you've been out, if you're listening out there, and if you've gone through, either had an agent at your house, or we've been to your house, or a construction contractor's been at your house, you probably know that it can snowball. So we go on appointments, Dawn and I go on appointments every week, multiple appointments with sellers. And they're always like, well, what should we do? We're going to sell. Our plan is to sell either now or in the next couple of years. And it's always starts out, well, I want to do the countertops.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm looking at it, I'm like, well, then you're going to be doing a lot of other stuff, because those cabinets are not going to, and we see it.
Backsplash is tied into it.
We go into houses where someone
Yeah.
did spend the $8,000 on the beautiful countertops, or $10,000 on these beautiful countertops, and they put them on cabinets that are
Outdated.
Oh,
Yeah.
Just
1991, and I'm like, you just blew it. I mean, you can now we have one choice: you can go back and redo it all, or you can enamel these maybe, but they're these not in style cabinets right now,
Right.
and they just don't look good. I
Right.
had one in Apple Valley like that, and I was just like, hey, you know, so you either got to get someone who knows what they're doing. So you either go kind of more all in,
Yep.
or you maybe don't do. If you're selling now,
Do
if you're
very
staying
little,
there, it's a completely
really.
different story because you're
Right.
living there, and there's some enjoyment factor and some desire on your own end.
Yeah.
But
Way
but
different calculation if you're going to stay there yourself.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Well, and it brings up a good point. If you get my on the house newsletter from Wells Fargo Home Mortgage, there's really
Nice.
also even has like it's engraved with my picture. So just don't draw horns or mustache on my picture, please. But so there's really actually a lot of options, and I would say maybe too if somebody were to contact you to get a quote, rates are still continue to be really low. So there's great options for cash out refinances or home equity loans. And I know sometimes people don't always think about that. They think, oh, I don't have enough money in savings or so forth, or I'm at a really low rate. I don't want to take cash out. I don't want to refinance again. But it really could be a cost-effective option for you. And I think so. If you typically when you go do a project, are you guys pretty spot on with? Like if I get an estimate and you tell me it's going to cost me $20,000, obviously sometimes there could be some overrun, but
I would say very spot on. And Sam, that's really you.
Yeah,
You
I've
really
gotten a
have
lot better at it over the years.
nailed
I think sometimes we lose work for it because I will give someone an honest assessment of what they're going to end up spending, and they'll say, "Well, this other guy came in and you're saying 75,000. He said 50." And I say, "Yeah, but." I know that even with that guy, you're going to end up at 75
Right.
if you get what you're asking of me. That's
well, and I
what
think
I'll
people
end up
appreciate
spending.
that. I'm sure sometimes we see that in new construction. It's they're purchasing a house and then they get excited, and the builder's like, sure, we can do that. I can do that
Right.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And, they're not quite thinking. So, one, if you are looking at home remodeling projects or improvement, whether you're going to be listing it, you can always pay that home equity off in the sale if you do list it. But really consider those options. And if you take out extra and you don't need it, you can always make that principal reduction on your mortgage payment and pay it back if you don't run over. But I think it's important because people will say, okay, I'm going to take out X amount of dollars because Sam told me it's going to cost me $30,000, and then it turns out to be 45. It's like,
Yeah, that's a real danger for people.
Yeah.
yeah.
It is.
Yeah, and it's not a comfortable situation for the homeowner nor the contractor. It's
No.
not good for anyone. So we're trying to
Good
avoid it.
stuff. Thanks,
Yes.
guys.
So Sam Devine and James Holmberg with Kinetic Design, Build, and Kinetic Construction. We'll be back with more. Thanks, folks.